Hi, folks. Welcome to episode 133 of the Wealth on Any Income podcast. This is where we talk about money tips, techniques, attitudes, information, and provide inspiration around your business and your money. I'm your host, Rennie Gabriel. In past episodes, we spoke about how to understand the numbers from your business, how to measure the level of pleasure based on where you spend your money, how to track your money in 5 to 10 seconds, what determines how close you are to complete financial choice, and how to run your business without being in your business. And last week, we had Perry Marshall talking about the concepts from his best-selling book about the natural law of the 80-20 rule. Today, we have as our guest, Pam Obasa. Pam teaches business owners, entrepreneurs, and educators how to create a lucrative sales system, launch their signature offer, and get booked out, monetize their message and story so they can sell online with ease. Pam, welcome to the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Wow, I love that intro, by the way. Beautiful. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Pam. Okay, so we get an idea of what you do, but tell me why you're doing this.
Why I'm doing this. I mean, I truly feel called to do what I do. By that, I mean, I'm a woman of faith. I feel that this is my purpose, to be honest with you. I didn't start out in business. I started out as an actress, and life sort of moved me in this direction. And once I found my feet, I instantly knew that this was where I was supposed to be. And every day I wake up looking forward to doing what I do, looking forward to talking to people, doing interviews such as this one, talking about helping people, talking about their programs, their systems, anything to help them to move forward in their business. And it gives me such great joy. And so that's why I keep doing it over and over again.
Okay, and I'm going to come at this again. And here's what I'm getting at. I struggled with money most of my life. I needed to learn about that to solve my issues. And I found most of the guests, and it didn't matter what kind of business they were in. As an example, last week, Perry Marshall was talking about how he wasted 7 years of his life trying to figure out how to make some money in Amway, which is how he created and dissected the whole process so that he realized the 80-20 rule was a natural law. If you look at trees, if you look at any kind of design, it's built in. And so that's what I'm asking at. Personally, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I mean, for me, life really, really changed when, like I said, my background is in acting. And, growing up, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be on stage. It was all about me, essentially. Something happened that changed things. I got married, was having my first baby, and we lost her at birth. Oh. That literally changed the trajectory of everything and really helped me to see that sometimes, life could be moving in a specific direction, but, there is something else waiting for you. And I didn't know what that something else was. But I can tell you, Rennie, that instantly all of my desires to be on stage disappeared. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do any film. I didn't want to do any radio. I didn't want to do anything to do with that. It was as though somebody snapped their fingers and all of that just disappeared. A couple of years later, I started to sort of discover, the online space and what came with it. And I found it so much easier. I found it so much more exciting. I felt like somebody had breathed life into me and I came into this world. First I discovered webinars and I was like, oh my goodness, this is crazy. You mean you can be on the other side of the world, in front of the camera, and I can see you and you are teaching me something. And wait, you have a product and I get to buy that and we get to work together on something called Zoom? What in the world is this? I was mind blown, and for me, it just changed things. It gave me new hope, new life. And I knew that just as much as I made that discovery and it took me from being down and depressed because we had just gone through trauma, I knew that, helping other people to discover, their own expertise and what they could bring and how life is just so much greater. So the first group of people I started to work with actually were people who had gone through some sort of loss. That was a huge thing for me. They'd gone through some sort of loss and they were struggling with finding themselves again. And so that was my thing. I felt, as a Christian, I felt, Lord, okay, brilliant. Let me help them. Let me show you that, okay, you've gone through this, but there's a greater purpose for you. You don't need to be suicidal. You don't need to be depressed. There's a greater purpose. Let's look at, what do you know? What are your skill sets? What is your expertise? What is your experience? What do you have in your hands? What is your knowledge? Let me help you to give you a new life and rebirth something inside of you that you can create a greater future from.
Thank you. Now, as you can tell, I don't want the fluff kinds of answers. I want the real ones. So thank you, Pam. And now the second question. Now, most people understand I donate 100% of the profits from the work I do, teaching people how to handle money powerfully, to veteran and animal charities. So tell me about a cause that's important to you to support.
I have several causes that I support, and one of the biggest ones for me is cancer research. And that's because it's something that, I have a member of my family who is currently, going through the process. And I just think it's one of those diseases that not only robs the person, but it can rob an entire community, an entire family unit, children, spouses, marriages break down very quickly, and it's one of those things. I think with cancer, especially, there are so many things that we don't know about it yet. And so I want to continue to support them. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So now the questions will be a little bit more softball. So currently now, you talked about who you started working with. Who are your target markets now?
My target markets now are coaches, consultants, experts. I don't have to be coaches yet, but it's a person who has something, right? Perhaps I'm not even sure what it is. It's like, Pam, I feel like I have expertise, or I know what it is that I should be doing, but I don't know how to package this up. I have no idea what to do with it. But I know that I have a purpose, I have a calling, I want to do something. I just don't know what it is or how. That's my ideal client who I love to help.
Terrific. Okay. And now back to something a little bit more personal.
Okay.
Tell me about your biggest failure, whether it's personal or business. It's a two-part question. And based on that failure, what was your insight from that? And what did you do with it?
Oh, my biggest failure. I don't know if this, I wouldn't call this the biggest, but it's probably one that, I would like to share. I think it's something worth sharing. So when I first started out online, I wanted to do webinars because of my webinar experience, I was like, well, this is the thing I'm going to do, and I, being somebody who is used to being on stage, I felt this is a whole different stage. Let's get on stage in front of the camera. And really, this was in the time when you would live stream and lots of people would be interested in what you do. So I was live streaming and promoting this webinar that I was running for a whole different niche that I was working in. When I would live stream, people would come on my webinar and I would have dozens of people, hundreds of people sometimes. And guess how many products they would buy? Zero.
I was going to say one. Okay.
Your family, it'll be a different story then. Zero. They'd buy nothing. So I remember thinking, okay, this webinar thing isn't working. Maybe you're not quite good at this thing as you thought you were. So I gave myself a task, Rennie. I said, I'm going to do it one more time. But this time, I want to devour everything there is to know about doing webinars. So our courses, coaching, funnels, everything there was, I invested and I planned this, what I called the ultimate webinar. This was my last hurrah. If this doesn't work, I'm out kind of thing. I have to go find something else. So I created a webinar, set up the webinar. On the day of the webinar, at 7:30 p.m., it was supposed to start. I was too scared to even go live. So I gave myself the big talk of 3, 2, 1 and go, Pam. 3, 2, 1 and go live. I went live and boom, the room started to fill. The numbers are rising and I'm feeling all sorts of amazing. And my spirits come back and I'm excited. I'm going through my slide, going, teaching about 20 minutes into the presentation. I'm seeing the thing flashing on Zoom and I'm thinking, what is this? Like, what are it's the chat. What are the questions? I opened the chat thinking, it's glowing reviews and all people had in the chat was, we can't see your slides. The webinar isn't working. We cannot see. Pam, can you move things around? And somebody said, this webinar is broken. And I'm out. And people are leaving. And I'm not a very techie person. So suddenly I go into panic mode and I start apologizing. I say, I'm really sorry, guys. Give me a second. Let me try and figure, like, what is going, I'm trying to figure, like, how do I move? I want people to see my slides. And Rennie, I was so nervous and panicked. I wanted to call my husband, who was upstairs, to help me. I was so panicked that I couldn't remember the password to my phone. That's how I to call him. So instantly, I'm apologizing. By this stage, there were roughly 10 people left on this webinar. So at that point, I thought, Pam, you have two options. You can either just stop the presentation, or you can just talk to them. You don't have any slides, but you can just have a conversation. So I did. So I said, okay, and I apologize. I said, I'm really sorry, guys. Clearly isn't working. So, I mean, there are roughly 10 of you left. Let's just talk. So I started to share stories. I just went from story to story to story to story. About 15 minutes into that section, someone says, but Pam, you have some sort of program, right? Like, what is it? I'm like, oh, yeah, the program is, and I just shared, just a quick 30 seconds cliff notes of this, what the program is. And, I doubt anything would happen from this, but here is my link. If anybody wants to join, you can also DM me if you have questions. And I wrapped up the meeting, shut my laptop, and just shook in tears. Rennie, within 24 hours of that presentation, 6 people joined my program at 2K each out of 10, giving me a 60% conversion. Now, what did I learn from that? A lot of things, actually. What I learned that, if things are failing, doesn't mean that you have failed. You have to change your mindset, and you have to understand that you're a human being, and that people understand that you are a human being, and the way we deal with things is very, very important. If I had just panicked and shut down, I think people would have seen me very differently. But I think that they truly, appreciated how it was a genuine, tough situation, and it was dealt with in the most genuine way possible. That's the first thing. So people see heart. The second thing is that stories sell, right? So I literally shared lots of stories back to back to back to back. And it was through doing that I then realized that, hold on a minute, Pam, you started out life as an adult, as an actress. Now, storytelling is actually what's sustaining you and helping your business to stand out and helping you to sell. Is it possible that all of those years at drama school, all of those years of wanting to be an actress and doing all of those amazing work, is it possible that that is not a waste, and that you could possibly pull things from that into this space to help you to stand out and so that you can help more people? And so it was that helped me to then create my new brand, where I then started to teach people storytelling and how to use that to sell.
Actually, you answered this a little bit, or we talked about it earlier in the interview, and I wanted to get at the real you. And what you were demonstrating in that failure was the real you. You are interested in supporting people, you care about people, and you were being authentic with, oh my gosh, the technology is failing on me. Well, we'll just shift to this. So you were demonstrating who you are, and that vulnerability, that honesty is what had a 60% conversion.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I want you to be in touch with that as often as you can as well, because that's the point of our podcast. It's not just about tips and techniques, but who are the people that are actually delivering it.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you for that. So let me ask you this. How can people get a hold of you? Do you have a valuable free resource that people can download that would support them in whether it's using stories or finding out more about your programs?
Yes, absolutely. I have a really great case study that really breaks down some of the things that I have shared and how we use storytelling and the sales systems. And you can find that at theseedmethod.com. And again, that's theseedmethod.com. And over and above that, please come and find me on YouTube. I'm just Pam Obasa on YouTube. If you just type in my name, you can find me, subscribe, and just let me know that you found me on Wealth on an Income podcast. And I'd appreciate that.
So I've got that in the show notes for when my assistant puts this podcast together. That'll be broadcast just in a few weeks. And Is there anything else I should have asked you that would be additional value for the people who are listening?
I think we asked some great questions, some hardball and softball questions, which I really loved. So thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm open. I'll be looking at in the comment section as well. If anybody has questions, I'm more than happy to answer. Yes.
Terrific. Well, Pam, thank you for being on the Wealth on Any Income podcast.
Thank you for having me. I had a wonderful time. Thank you.
And to all of those who are listening, if you'd like to know how books, movies, and society programs you to be poor and what the cure is, then log on to wealthonanyincome.com/TEDx. You'll hear my TEDx talk and can request a free 9-step roadmap to complete financial choice and philanthropy, and receive a weekly email with tips, techniques, inspiration around your business or your money. And if you'd like to see how you can increase your wealth and donate to the causes that touch your heart, please check out our affordable program, Wealth with Purpose, on the Wealth on Any Income website. To my listeners, thank you for tuning in. You can listen to the Wealth on Any Income podcast on your favorite platform, and please rate, review, and subscribe. And until next week, be prosperous. Bye-bye for now.